So if you've been watching my videos the past month or two, then you will know that I absolutely love Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is great. I just learned about speed ramping. Speed ramping is when the speed changes in a clip, except without that harsh cut from slow to fast. It ramps in this nice smooth motion, and it's a nice transition from fast to slow. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I speed ramps all my clips in Premiere Pro. So I shot my footage in 1080p at 24 frames per second, and some people think that you can't get smooth slow motion with 24 frames per second, but believe it or not, you can. Right-click on the clip, go to Time Interpolation, and change frame sampling to optical flow. Now when you slow it down, you have a nice, smooth video. And if it doesn't play back the way you want it to, when you export it, the result will be smooth, buttery slow motion. So that means you can actually slow it down to 40–30%. However, for best results, you should probably try and shoot at 60 frames per second just to get the best results when you're shooting, because optical flow can make some really funky stuff to your image. If you watched my cinematic green springs montage, there's going to be a link to it up here if you haven't already. You'll notice when I did that 360 twist jump that the bridge behind me sort of interfered with my arms and my legs as I jumped. And that's because Premiere Pro is creating other frames when you set it to optical flow. So it's fine for small movements like walking, but if you're doing a big movement, then it will mess up your clip with the frames, because Premiere Pro is actually creating new frames according to the two frames beside it. So sometimes it will mess everything up and make an entirely different frame than what you want. So yes, you can get smooth slow motion with 24 frames per second, but it is recommended to shoot in 60 frames per second if your camera can do it. So let's get into Premiere Pro and start this speed ramp. So first we're going to double click on our bin and import our footage. Now I shot this already a couple nights ago when we were making a little taco b-roll sequence. So I'm going to show you how you can speed ramp. So drag all of your clips into the drag your clip into the timeline and open the effect controls. And then you can right click on the clip, scroll all the way down, and click on Show Clip Keyframes, and then click on Time and Duration, and then click on Speed. Now this will alter how your clip looks on the timeline, but if you click this line here and drag it up, then you can see what's happening. So then go into Effect Controls and make two keyframes where you want it to start and one where you want it to end. Now you can see they showed up on our clip in the timeline. Now what we can do is we can click the line in between these two keyframes and drag it up, and that will speed up our clip. But notice it also shortens our clip. So if you drag it down, that will slow down the clip. So let's speed this part up a little bit, and you'll see that our clip is sped up. But it's a harsh cut from slow to fast, and what I said, what speed ramping is supposed to do is a nice, smooth, slow movement between slow to fast or fast to slow. So click on one side of your keyframe on your clip and drag it out, and you'll notice that it makes this ramp, and I think that's why it's called speed ramping. And when you play it back, right into fast, and you can do the same with the next keyframe to make it go smoothly into fast and smoothly into slow motion. Now speed ramping is really good just for transitions. Now if you watch this clip without any speed ramping at all, you'll notice that you can see the cut and it's not as seamless. But when we speed ramp the clips together in this nice fast curve, then it looks a lot more seamless. This is a great way to make a smooth motion from fast to slow without having to cut a harsh cut between your two clips. Speed ramping is also really cool to show the passage of time when you're doing a time lapse, and then you can slow it immediately down. And I used this in my last Green Screen Wednesday video, another link up there, and as my hand went towards the door, it was fast, and then it went into slow, and then it sped up again. And I did a lot of that, and it really helps all your footage flow from clip to clip. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you want more tutorials just like this, please let me know in the comments below. Oh, and also, I want to read some comments today, because that's just what I feel like doing. So I'm going to read some comments on my last video. Actually, no, not my last video, my Green Springs video. So let's take a look at that. 21K Productions said, great vid, man, though how did you do the transition at 040, the walking one? Was this the one? Oh, yes. So this is what I did. Basically, I did a match cut. So if you're walking on different surfaces, what I did is as my foot was in one position, I cut it so that the next clip, my foot was in the exact same position. And when you play it back, it looks like my foot stays in the same position, and you try to match that up as best as possible. That's called a match cut. It's a different kind of transition. Zez Films GH says, I just finished watching and I love it. Thank you so much, Zez Films GH. I love hearing that. Film Time and More says, great content, bro. I subbed to you a few days ago. You were very talented and you don't focus on your camera. You focus on what's around it. That's a good mindset as a filmmaker. You're very good at taking feedback. Take a good afternoon. Wow, that's very nice of you. Thank you so much, Film Time and More. Awesome, you have a good afternoon too, if it's afternoon. Star and Daniel says, beautiful, beautiful. I like that. Thank you very much, Star and Daniel. So that's the end of this video. I read every comment, I read the comments on my last video, every video, if that makes any sense. So if you have any further questions, please let me know.